But kindly, you can directly unmute and you can directly speak. But please, humble request is don't unmute blindly. Don't unmute blindly. Don't cause any disturbances to class. Please don't create any disturbances to class. There is an option, there is a guidelines will follow in making the class as efficient. What are the guidelines? Is the first guideline is whenever you want to ask the question, mute it and unmute it, ask the question, go on mute. While asking the question, you should make sure that your headset is in working condition, your internet is in working condition, and no crowd in the surroundings. You should join like how I joined. You should not see any crowd or you should not hear any background voices, something like that, so that our class will be effective and impactful. Okay, does it make sense, everyone, guys? So tomorrow I'm going to have some introduction section. Tomorrow I'm going to have some introduction section where what exactly the situation, what exactly technical stack of each and every individual, so that we'll go further. Okay, right. So far, now we'll coming back to our topic. Yesterday, what is we discussed is we are discussing a topic called as what happens when we run a Spring Boot project in the background. What is the real picture of when you run your project in a Spring Boot project, Hello World project? What happens in the background? That's the first topic we are discussing, where we can create in a normal Spring approach. We are going to create the project in a normal Spring approach. That is, everything is manual, no automation. That is the first exercise we are going to do that. So for that exercise, we created a Maven project, and inside Maven project, in the pom.xml, we wrote two entries. One is called as Spring Boot starter parent, which is going to download the parent jar, the parent root of the Spring Boot jar. And Spring Boot having lot of modules or lot of dependencies or lot of features, where one of the feature is starter web, which is a web application, so that it downloaded lot of jars. It contains Tomcat jar, it contains Spring jars, it contains Spring Boot jar, it contains lot of Hibernate jars, everything. Okay, after that, we have created a annotation called as at the rate of Spring Boot application. At the rate of Spring Boot application is called as a bootstrap class. At the rate of Spring Boot application is called as a bootstrap class. What is a bootstrap class? Is any Java class which is having at the rate of Spring Boot application annotation is called as a bootstrap class. Bootstrap means starting point of execution. Every Spring Boot application should have only one bootstrap class. And what is the functionality of the bootstrap classes? The first functionality is it is going to create an IOC container. What is the meaning of IOC container? Means inversion of control container. This is a Spring container. All the Java classes memory management of all Java classes is taken care by IOC container. So this is what I explained in yesterday's class. Anyone, any technical questions, don't ask, please. I didn't get this link, that link, don't ask anything, guys. And one more point is Hangouts group I am removing tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Everything we are going to have Google Classroom. Already Google Classroom invitation came for me, and you also get a Google. I'll explain that. Okay, but as of now, I want to focus on teaching on a technical side. Anyone, any technical questions as of now? Anyone so far? Please go ahead. You can ask the questions. Anyone? Perfect. Everyone is clear so far, right? At least someone confirm, please, if you are clear. Directly you can speak, guys. You no need to raise a hand.
Yes, clear, sir.
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Right. Now we are going to discuss other functionalities of a bootstrap class. Okay. So what is the second functionality is IOC container is going to take care of memory management of all Java classes which are created by developer as well as by framework classes as well as developer classes. Both these things are taken care. Memory management is going to taken care by the framework. Okay. And it is going to create web application context. Bootstrap class is going to create web application context. Okay. So before that, before I explain web application context here, by default, that's the next point I want to focus here. Okay. After it is creating a memory management for all the Java classes which are created by the developer as well as which are created by the framework. Okay. Third point is what I'm going to do is by default, all Java classes under Bootstrap package and Bootstrap sub package. By default, all Java programs which are created under Bootstrap package and Bootstrap sub package. Okay. Bootstrap package as well as Bootstrap sub package will be pushed to IOC container. So in my case, com.nareshit.hello world. This is Bootstrap package, right? What's the Bootstrap? Any Java class which is having @ Spring Boot application is called as Bootstrap class. Any Java class which is having @ Spring Boot application is called as Bootstrap class, which is, it is not going to take all Java classes which are under Bootstrap package as well as which are and Bootstrap sub package. By default, all Java classes under Bootstrap package and Bootstrap sub package all will be pushed to IOC container. That's a default behavior. For example, assuming assuming that com.amazon.e-commerce, assuming that this is Amazon Bootstrap package, assuming that com.amazon.e-commerce, for us com.nareshit.hello world, right? com.amazon.e-commerce. Now by default under that com.amazon.e-commerce dot customer module, right? After that com.ecommerce dot products module, inventory module, Next one is cart module, payment module, shipping module, returns module. Like that, we are going to have all the classes which are under all these modules, which will be pushed to IOC container. Automatically, it will push. You no need to move all these classes into IOC container. So first of all, what is an IOC container? What is exactly? It is going to manage the memory management. Means any class, assuming that order service. Okay, assuming that in order service.java, I wrote process order method. Process order method. I am writing some logic here. Okay. In traditional code, what how to call this method? In traditional way, order service ORD object is equal to new order service. ORD object dot process order, which I am going to call. Am I right? This is traditional way of calling. This is called as traditional way of calling. Will you agree with me, guys? What is the problem with this traditional way of calling? I explained in the demo class. This object should be managed by the developer only. Created by the developer. State will be managed by the developer. Destructed by the developer. Once everything is over, you need to write ORD object is equal to null. Then only it will be garbaged. But the reverse to that Spring, how it is maintaining? Order service.java will be pushed to IOC container. Order service dot class or Java will be pushed to IOC container. Now IOC container is giving a object for me. ORD object is equal to IOC dot get order service. And this order object will be completely managed by the IOC only. It will only create, it will only maintain the status, it will only destroy that object. That is a completely IOC is going to take care of that. Okay. Now all the classes which are created under this package, under Bootstrap package, as well as under Bootstrap sub packages, all will be identified. All the classes will be pushed to IOC container. What does that we are able to follow from in this context? If I create any Java program outside of my Bootstrap package or outside of my Bootstrap sub package, then those classes will not be pushed to IOC container at all. Okay, those classes will not be pushed to IOC container at all. Guys, kindly don't chat anything. You can ask anything directly if it is a technical question. Okay, Mr. Ravi, anything you want to ask, you can ask. No need to chat or anything. Okay, while I'm teaching, I cannot answer you, right? You can directly ask any question. Swapnil, you unmuted.
Yeah. How these objects are being managed by garbage inside?
That is the Spring is written the code for that.
Okay.
Spring has written a code indirectly for that. Yeah. Any other questions as of now? Okay. Now, there's a third point. which is lot of points are there. As at a beginning stage, I am going to explain only 3 points. Okay. So which is going to create IOC containers. It is taking care of memory management. Not only the Java programs created by the developer, also the framework classes also, which I am going to explain framework classes, all those things. And by default, it will be taking all the Java classes under Bootstrap package and all the Java classes under the Bootstrap sub packages. All will be picked, all will be pushed to IOC container. Yes. Now, this is the typical functionality of a Bootstrap class. Lot of things are there. I only told 3 points, guys. Okay, but slowly I'm going to refer other things. Okay. Right. Now here, oh, I didn't wrote public static void main. It's my problem. 1 second, guys. Why to write the public static void main? By default, I'm going to create new class hello world in Spring Boot. I need to select public static void main. Okay. So which is equal to, I'm going to write all these things. I'll remove that class just because I want this actually. Okay. Yes. I'm going to remove this code. Yes. There is Spring Boot application and public hello world in Spring Boot and public static void main. Inside that we are going to write Spring application dot run of hello world dot class and arguments. This is a default code we are going to write. What is the meaning is this line of code is going to create web application context. It is going to create a web application context. What is the meaning of a web application context means? Okay. Whenever we run our application, a separate context will be created for managing our all session level data. So a web application context is a technical word. What exactly it does is it will create some separate memory area. Whatever the data I want to keep inside the temporary memory area, I can keep that. So that will be set by web application context. In Spring, you used to write lot of code. In Spring, you used to write lot of code. What is the code we are going to write in Spring? To create web application context in Spring. What code you are going to write? Bean ID is equal to ORD object class is equal to com.amazon dot e-commerce dot order service. Okay, and this I load like all these classes. I'm going to write a configuration file in Spring and I'm going to write payment object com.amazon.payment class. Right? This is you used to write in Spring, guys. Customer object, which is equal to customer service, like that. all you are going to write in a Spring XML, and we are going to use application context. Context is equal to new XML class path application context of all these entries we are going to create in spring.xml, right? Assuming that you are writing in spring.xml, we will write this spring.xml. This entire code you used to do in Spring to create a web application context. This entire code you are going to write inside Spring to create a web application context. You no need to write this. Framework is whenever you run the Spring application dot run with hello world in Spring Bootstrap class is a class which is a starting point, right? Please consider this as a Bootstrap class and it is going to run. Then it is internally going to create a web application context. It is going to create dispatcher servlet also. Okay. So the fourth task is it will create dispatcher servlet. I'll explain all those things slowly, not now. So public static void main, I'm writing a code inside that Spring application dot run hello world in Spring. That's a Bootstrap class which I'm going to run. This is the typical introduction of a Bootstrap class. Okay, let me repeat for the sake of everyone. What is a Bootstrap class? Means any Java class which is having @ of Spring Boot application is called as Bootstrap class. Bootstrap means starting point of execution. Every Spring Boot application should have only one Bootstrap class. What exactly functionality of Bootstrap class is? It is going to create inversion of control container. It is going to create IOC container. All Java classes and objects are completely managed by the IOC container. IOC container is going to take care of memory management of all Java classes which are created by the developer as well as by the framework. By default, all Java classes under Bootstrap package as well as Bootstrap sub package will be pushed to IOC container, and also it is going to create a web application context which is going to create a separate memory area for all session level data. And this is the code you used to write in Spring. All this code will be avoided. This is all boilerplate code will be taken care by the framework with this particular line. This is a Bootstrap class. Okay, in first approach we are writing this. In 2, 3, 4 you no need to write. Framework will take care of that. Okay, anyone, any questions so far, guys? As of now, anyone has any questions so far?
In your example, we haven't defined any order service, right?
No, just I'm taking one example, sir. In
Yeah,
our example, we are not
okay.
writing. We are not writing anything. Just Amazon, e-commerce. These are the common technical words where you can think of, right? That's what I'm explaining. Here, I'm not writing anything here. Okay. In real time, you usually write the code like that. Okay. Right. Now I'm going. Yeah.
Sir, I just had one question. So a direct comparison might not be the right thing to do, but could you just like summarize what is the difference between, what would be the difference between the container and the web context?
Okay. Container is a IOC container is mainly creating the object, managing the state of an object, destroying that object. That is the IOC container, a separate memory area. Whereas web application context is once the application is running, when our application is running, this particular context is going to push all these classes into IOC container and any other session level data. Order service dot get customer, order service dot get payment, order service dot get, all the data will keep inside the object, right? That entire session level data which is going to be available in the web application context. Classes will be available in IOC container. Classes level data will be having in the web application context. Clear?
Got it. Got it. So both are like two different memory area.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
got
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Good question. Very good question. Yes. Now,
So you can say like OA content is going to load all the methods of the
correct.
classes.
Exactly. Exactly. Context is going to load all the methods. Correct.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Now, I'm going to write. Now my business logic is, what is that I need to display? Hello world application, right? Where I'm going to write hello world controller. Okay. Where I'm going to write public string get hello world return welcome to 9 to 10 batch by Spring Boot. Welcome to 9 to 10 Spring Boot batch by Vijay Kumar. This is a hello world. I am writing two annotations here. I will explain this slowly. REST controller. I'll explain this slowly, not now. At the rate of request mapping value is equal to slash. I will explain. We'll explain in next class. Generally, I wrote hello world controller and I wrote this particular method.
Sir, hello.
Yes,
Sir, 11th line error. Okay, sir.
I'm removing.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Right. So this code, everyone is clear, right? Yeah. Now I'm running my code over. My hello world project is over. Now I'm going to bootstrap class, run as Java application. Run as Java application. You see here. Yes. You see here. Starting hello world in Spring Boot. Tomcat is initialized 8080. Tomcat service is getting started. Initializing web application context. You saw that? Initializing Spring embedded web application context. Root web application complex is completed in this. Tomcat is started hello. Okay. Now, if you see here, so our application is up. So localhost colon 8080. Welcome to 9 to 10 Spring Boot batch by Vijay Kumar. You are getting that output. Localhost colon 8080. 8080 is the port which the default Tomcat is running. Default port of Tomcat. You see here, initializing dispatcher servlet. This is what I explained in my demo class, right? We used to write, if at all, if I want a web application, I need to have I need to have dispatcher servlet, web.xml, data source.xml, lot of configuration for a web application. Here I don't write anything, but I'll explain slowly. Simply, it is creating a web application context. It is creating a dispatcher servlet, and my Tomcat is started. And whatever I wrote inside the controller, this data is going to be populated. Understand? But how it is getting called, I'm going to explain. How when I say localhost colon 8080, whenever I hit this, how this particular method is going to call, how it is getting triggered, which I'm going to explain. I have not done that yet. Okay, just I wrote a code here. I run my bootstrap class, and when I click on localhost colon 8080, it is going to give me this particular output. So welcome to 9 to 10 batch by Vijay Kumar. But I will explain in the next class what is REST controller, what is request mapping. Whenever I hit localhost 8080, how this method is called. Sir, in a traditional way, okay? In a traditional way, how to call this method? In a traditional way, how to call this method? Hello world controller obj is equal to new hello world controller. Obj dot
Get a hello world.
is that did I write any code like this? No, right? Who created this class object? IOC created that. Who called this hello world? IOC called that. How it is called? These two annotations. You're able to follow that, right? I have not created any object of hello world controller. I have not explicitly called this method. Framework automatic. Okay. Yes.
So how did the object creation get handled by IOC container? Wasn't it the context thing? Web context, web application context.
By default, web application context is going to have the data inside that object. Here, no data, right? Just only printing the data, right? Okay. Web application context is having, for example, ma'am, here I am having customer class. Okay. Customer object will be there in the IOC container, but customer object data for my session will be there in my context. Web application context data, customer dot get customer name, customer dot get phone number. All this data is available in web application context. Customer object address will be there in the IOC container. Is it clear? Already someone asked the question just now. I explained it. Is it clear, ma'am? Someone who asked the question, I didn't saw the name.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we can't create multiple objects in this case, right? Only one object per class.
We'll go into discuss. I have not done that. I have not done that. Okay, the scope. By default, we have different scopes are there. Request scope, session level scope, prototype scope, application level scope. But I will discuss that slowly. Okay. Yes, to answer your question, we can create n number of objects of this class.
So every class we need to write into the bootstrap class.
No. We wrote outside, right? All our classes. This is bootstrap class. This is what our controller class, right? We are bootstrap class does not do anything. It's hard coded code.
So I'm asking about in this class, customer, products, inventory. These are the business logic class, right?
All our out in this package only. com.naresh80.hello world package. We can write outside of bootstrap package. I mean, in the same package, a different file.
So we need to write into the same package. So it will go directly into the IOC.
IOC container. Correct. Exactly.
Okay.
But I'll explain that slowly. I just explained the typical introduction part of. I'll explain one by one. It's not that I'm done everything. Okay. I'm just explaining one by one. Every point I will explain practically. I will showcase. I will create some files inside bootstrap package. I'll create some files outside Bootstrap package. I'll showcase that. You don't need to worry about that. Okay. Fine. Any other questions, guys? So I'm going to explain REST controller request mapping within next class. So till now, whatever I did, I went to pom.xml. I wrote 2 entries and which is downloaded the jars. I went to Bootstrap class, which I wrote at the rate of Spring Boot application. Okay. And which I wrote a controller, which is giving this particular output. That is localhost 8080, which is giving the welcome to 9 to 10 batch Spring Boot by Vijay Kumar. This is the output you are getting. Understand?
So, real quick,
Mhm.
and this web application context, right? So that will be initiated for every user session. Is that right?
Correct.
Because that's
Exactly.
how.
Exactly. Correct. It will be initiated by every user session. Exactly. Yes. Any other? Okay.
Sir,
Go ahead.
sir, who doesn't create a hello world controller object, but how it can run by default, sir?
That's what I told, right, sir? I'm going to explain in tomorrow's class. Okay.
Okay, sir.
How it is going to explain? First of all, kindly, please. Everything I'm not going to explain in one class. Slow. Today, I only explain Bootstrap class. What is the functionality? Tomorrow, I'm going, because it's a 20 to 30 minutes topic, how this is going to executed. Currently, please don't, these two annotations are helping me to run this code. These two annotations, REST controller, request mapping, are helping me to call this method. This particular code is written by these two annotations. That is what as of now you can think of. Okay. Mr. Koteshwara, is that clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, we execute the entire package, right?
We own right click on this Bootstrap class, run as Java application.
Okay, sir. Only whenever we write bootstrap class, that file only we can run.
Correct.
Right, sir?
Yes, you don't need to run every file. By default, it will load the entire project.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Yeah. Now, any technical, non-technical, any questions so far till now? Because till now I mentioned only to ask the technical questions. Now, any other questions? Tomorrow, sir, maybe I'm looking for introduction session, sir. Maybe it will take some 30 to 40 minutes of time, but it's mandatory for me because I want to know what each and every individual background, something I need. Then I'll proceed on the next two things here, like how to proceed for Spring Initializer and STS. Then I'll proceed for the REST controller and request mapping, and entire Spring Boot application. What is this? I'll going to showcase in real time. Okay. So within 3 to 4 classes, you will understand what happens when we create a Spring Boot project, what happens in the background. Everything you can explain clearly. As of now, we just know that we wrote a pom.xml with 2 entries, which is downloading Spring Boot jars. We wrote a Bootstrap class and the functionalities of Bootstrap class, and we wrote a controller, and we got this output. This is the knowledge so far you got till now. Okay. Right. Sir, everyone got Google Classroom invitation, guys?
Yes.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No.
One second. Okay. So by default, sometimes this mail will go into spam also. Here you see here, Naresh Technologies invitation to co-teach. This is my teacher. I'm a teacher. I will get this email. You will get invitation like this email. Kindly cross check, guys. This is a text. You need to check your email. Everyone kindly cross check your emails, guys, right now. Okay. Now you will find a button called as join. You click on join button. You have a join button. For me, teacher will come. For you, I don't know what name will come. Okay. Accept. I'll know how many people are added here. I'll come to know. I think 27 people are added till now.
No, sir, I didn't get.
So,
So
okay.
in my
1 second, guys. Okay. Whether did they send that email to everyone or not, it's your responsibility to send an email or WhatsApp everyone to admin and make sure that you are added. This is important. Previously, a lot of people asked me hangouts. No need of hangouts. Now I am going to share their notes and everything in the Google Classroom. I don't have an access to add here. As of now, 27 people are added here. So I need to bookmark this, guys. Okay. Once this URL is coming, you need to bookmark this URL. Okay. If you didn't get it, this actually kindly get in touch with admin. It's his responsibility to make sure that you are added here. Okay. And also you need to bookmark this URL, guys. How to bookmark, you know, right? Bookmark this tab, 9 to 10 batch, RHIT Google Classroom.